So braces have been over for a century now. So how are they different from the aligners?
Around 80% of the patients are still preferring for braces.
So like aligners are gaining popularity. So what is the future that holds for aligners?
This is definitely going to increase year on year.
So are there any other methods for alignment of teeth? Hi everyone, welcome to Oblu Uncut, your one-stop destination for dental education. At Oblu Uncut, we bring you dental trends and tech. We help you in digital dental planning to 3D printing and clinical insights and much more. So, for the first episode, our guest was someone who has the knowledge and also the experience of decade. So, it's none other than Mr. Akshay Narayan, the founder of Oblu and Adna. So, hello, welcome, sir.
Hi, Ria. Thank you for inviting me to your show.
It's pleasure to have you here. So, let's start right at the beginning. So, where did you grow up and how did you grew into the field of dental industry?
So, I grew up in Delhi, and my father was already into the dental business. So, from my early life itself, I had a lot of exposure to the dental industry. I used to get to meet doctors throughout my life. And even when I chose to do my biomedical engineering, that was purely because of the dental industry that had uh, made me interested to go for this.
So, like we were talking about early days, so let's talk about professional life when it was the starting of the career. What was some milestones and what were the setbacks you faced?
So once I finished my graduation, I joined my father, and he was already into a very successful business of dental equipments. And this was an establishment which was there since 1992. So there was already a lot of work that had been put in. And when I joined in, I wanted to give it a fresh outlook. I wanted to put in my efforts to make whatever is about my dad's business to go bigger and beyond. There was a lot of learning that I was able to do in this business, and this shaped up my journey in this dental industry.
So, now we look at your journey and where you are today. What is something you still feel like you need to achieve or some ambition that you might feel that are left out?
So I feel that dental industry is still very niche, and there is a lot of elements that can be added to this. I see that since the beginning of 2010, 2012, digital dentistry has grown and it's become a very integral part for most of the dentists. And I see a potential that this has to expand to many more throughout India, and India has a huge population of patients as well as dentists. And I see that there is a lot of technological advancements that can be brought into this. So I'm very hopeful and optimistic to see a bright future at this.
So, we would also love to know that what is your source of inspiration or who is your source of inspiration and your motivation?
So right from the beginning, my early life, my father, Mr. V.L. Narayan, he has been my source of inspiration. He has been loved by the whole dental industry and also his family and friends. When he started the journey for this dental industry, he was not only instrumental in bringing in some of the important technologies, but also was able to give a lot of support to the dentists for making this an easier journey for them as well. And today he is still known as a very in important person in the industry for the imaging and chemical products, and that's very inspiring for me.
So, we will also like to know about your journey and your business, Oblu Healthcare. So, for someone who is yet to first time about Oblu, so what is Oblu and what does role it play in the dental industry?
So Oblu Healthcare was a idea and inspiration which was there in my mind since I was in the early stage of my working. So I have to go back to 2016 when I had initially thought about 3D printers and how they will make a major impact in the dental industry. And 3D printers led me to the understanding of the whole aligner system. And this is what we have achieved with Oblu Healthcare. In 2022, me and my partner, Mr. Nitin Agarwal, we started this journey of Oblu Healthcare, trying to provide end-to-end digital dental solutions. And it started with orthodontics. We saw that there is a huge opportunity in this business and it has not been tapped. And today, I could say these 3 years we have been very successful and we are growing step by step and we are expanding for every need catering to the dental industry.
So we have more questions lined up for you, which we will talk about aligners, different methods, and a lot more. So I would like to know about what are aligners and how do they work.
So, aligners are something which works on the concept of plastic trays, which are used by the patient on an interval of time. It could be a week or two. And in this, the aligner trays or the plastic trays are making movements to align the teeth. This movement is done with a push force. And it's a very stable and a very predictable process. And it is something which is grown over the period. I feel that aligners are the future and they have been there for almost 25 years now. And they have come to a very stable situation where they are really important in this field.
So what is the workflow of manufacturing aligners, like typical production process?
So, when we talk about aligners, there are 5 steps in the aligner process. It starts with scan, design, print, thermoform, and finish. So, we are looking at digital scanning. We are looking at treatment planning with the design software, 3D printing of dental models. Once these models are printed, we are thermoforming them to create the final aligner. And these final aligners need trimming and post processing to get that final finish.
So how can in-house production of aligners help orthodontists and it is more beneficial for them rather than outsourcing?
So, in house aligners is something which is going to be most crucial in this aligner industry. When we look at in house aligners, we are able to give the full control of treatment planning to the doctor. And this way, the doctor is able to use his skills and the knowledge of biomechanics of aligners to the fullest. With this, we'll be able to see orthodontists get better results for their patients and get more outcomes from the patients also.
So are there any other methods for alignment of teeth?
So, traditionally, if you look at the treatment of alignment of teeth, we consider braces, which is still a very dominating product in the market. This is where you use metal brackets, metal wires. Of course, there are other options as well, which are used to align the teeth by a pull force. The wires are bent in a particular way to give the right amount of force and the right direction to the tooth.
So braces have been over for a century now. So how are they different from the aligners and the metal wires and brackets as you mentioned? So how does it set them apart from the aligners?
So, when we look at braces in particular, first of all, the way the forces are acting, that itself is very different. When we look at braces, we have a pull force where the braces or the wire used is pulling the tooth backwards or forward, whereas in aligners, there is a push force. So, this means that the whole force mechanism or biomechanics which is being applied here is totally different. And when it comes to braces, it's not very convenient. It's going to be painful. It is going to be fixed. It is not removable. So these all add up to the patient inconvenience. There are a lot of times where orthodontists even suggest a particular diet, and they also suggest how to clean the teeth while they are wearing braces. So hygiene is the third part of it where it can be an issue. So aligners are targeting on these aspects, and one of the major importance which aligner gets is aligners are sequential. Each aligner trace is used only for a week or 2 weeks, and the movement is very small. So when we have divided these movements in smaller steps, we are able to do a very predictable result, and the transition or the tracking of the teeth movement is much easier.
So, what is the patient preferences? Like, what is the market and how many people choose aligners over braces?
So if you look at the market globally, right now, around 80% of the patients are still going preferring for braces, uh, and the rest are going for aligners. But if you look at those 80% of the patients going for braces, it is happening because of two reasons. One is the unit economics. Braces are definitely much cheaper than aligners, and two is the education which is spread around for the biomechanics of aligners. So most of the doctors are still practicing braces because they're not yet um, studied about aligners, or they're not yet comfortable with aligners. They feel that aligners are not the correct solution. This is one of the major reason that such a vast population is depending on braces still. I'm sure that even in the future, uh, there will be a requirement for bases for certain complex cases and peculiar cases, but aligners can take over that market. If you look at the economic part of this, aligners are doing really great. They're about 80% of the whole market as per revenue wise. So, if we consider India from the revenue standpoint, the current Indian market is roughly around 1600 crores, which used to be about 1400 crores in 2023, and it is set to rise even more.
Sounds like we are witnessing a real change in the market. So, like aligners are gaining popularity. So, what is the future that holds for aligner and the market?
So, as the education spreads, the word spreads around, more patients are aware of these treatment solutions. This is definitely going to increase year on year. Already, there are being predictions made where this 1600 crores of annual revenue, which is generated on aligners, is going to go north of about 9,000 crores by 2030. So, that's the potential of aligners.
Wow, that's incredible. So, like, it's almost 14 crore of Indians market, which we have. And, like, I am expecting that 6 times more, it's going to be increased in the market. So, like, when we talk about aligners, so what are the materials which is used to manufacture them?
So, when we talk about aligner materials, this is something which is very important while selecting the case and also the comfort of the doctor, the way he has planned the treatment. So, if you look at it in the market, there are these three materials which are commonly being used in the market. The first one is PETG, the second is PETC, and the third one is TPU. PETG, or polyethylene terephthalate glycol, is one of the most common materials which is being used for aligners currently. This is because of its clear nature. It is biocompatible, viscoelastic in nature, and it is also economic. So this is one of the most common aligners being used. But if we consider the other two, um, for PET-C, which is again polyethylene terephthalate, but instead of glycol, it is now copolyester. And if we look at the copolyester material, it is 33% softer than the PETG material. And this gives us a better flexibility. And this flexibility will result in much more comfort for the patient. And also, this flexibility will reduce any type of breakage in aligners. So, if anyone is facing a lot of aligners are breaking and they have been using PETG, this might be the reason for them to shift to PETC material. Definitely, it is slightly more expensive than the PETG, but it is definitely value for money also. And talking about the third sheet, which is our TPU, TPU does not exist in its own as a single layered material. For it to survive in the aligner market, to get the right amount of flexibility and rigidity at the same time, we need to sandwich this between two PETG materials or PETC materials. and this is called a triple layered sheet. So triple layered sheet has its own advantages. It is flexible, so it's comfortable, and it's rigid at the same time, so the movements are able to track much better. So whenever there is a very complex case, you have a lot of teeth which are moved, especially in a very severe crowding case, or if you have a case where a lot of distalization has to be done, then in those cases, a TPU might be preferred. But still, all three sheets are being used in combination by times. Some people use individual sheets only, or some people use two or three in combination.
So, how do different type of material affect the performance, or how does it make it suitable for the orthodontic movements?
So, as I said, um, because some of the materials are softer and some of the materials are more flexible, that is, soft as well as rigid. So, this would definitely affect the movement. Let me give you an example. If we talk about uh, a lot of rotation that has to be done in a particular tooth, if we are using PETG in that case, there will be a lot of breakages. The chances of the tooth rotating would be lesser. So the common question would be, okay, should I go for a PET-C then? So in a PET-C, what would happen is the rotation will definitely get through, but the number of aligner sheets that will take for rotation might be higher. So TPU would be the right choice when doing these kind of rotations. But if we are talking about a case where there is a lot of movement, there is crowding, we can definitely choose PET-C in the initial phase up to about 70% of the case. And the final situation can be fixed with the PET-G. And if there is severe crowding, we can start with TPU. In the middle part, go with PET-C and finish it with PET-G. So this is a certain way in which orthodontists can play with these sheets and use their advantages in the right way.
So, if we are talking about aligners, there must be your top favorite thing. So, before we wind up, would you like to recommend some of the best sheet which you think, and why would you recommend it?
So I would recommend everyone to go with the Orthodor AL by Orthodontic. This is a PET-C material which is being offered by Oblu Healthcare. The PET-C material, as you know, is a softer material and it is flexible enough and it's comfortable for patients and it has break resistance. So this is an ideal sheet for various cases. So a majority of the orthodontists can use the PET-C material for this. So Orthodor AL would be my choice.
Okay, so that's the wrap for this session, and I would like to thank you, sir, for your precious time and for such a memorable podcast. I hope we will see you next soon.
Thank you so much, Ria, for having me again. And I feel that this podcast would give a lot of information out there to the orthodontists and to many patients so that they choose aligners. And I am looking forward to a big increase in this aligner business. And this will be really good for the dental industry as well as the dentists. And thank you, audience, for listening to us patiently today. I feel that I hope I have cleared up most of the points, and if I have made any mistakes, you can comment us on this.
So, definitely, we will find a reason to catch you again. And until then, stay curious, be happy, and keep smiling.